Hey everybody, it's the Last Robokai here, and it's time for more Fate Samurai Remnant. Last time, we met our protagonist, and, I don't know what the term is when someone is also a protagonist, I guess just more protagonist, Saber?
Dutagonist is
Dutagonist.
something like that. I'm probably making a slightly wrong pronunciation, but
Yeah.
it's the word for two and then tagonist.
Basically, we've met our two main characters for the duration of this game. Miyamoto Iori, the adopted son of Miyamoto Musashi, and Saber, a mysterious summoned warrior who seems to control the power of water in extremely high pressure from a sword that can, when interrupted, still level a good portion of buildings. And they have been thrown into something called the Waxing Moon Ritual. I am joined by Cool Guy, and he is going to be getting, along with those of you not familiar with Fate, a little bit of the exposition as to what the Waxing Moon Ritual is. So
It's going to be lubed over by Gulden Drock, the authentic the authentic dark red triple ale from Belgium, because I get the feeling I'm gonna fucking need it for this game.
Oh, probably. Let's get started. straight.
英月の儀
We pretty much kick off back where we started before.
I'm asking the obvious question.
君はすでに選ばれた。
And we're gonna get a little bit of explanation as to what the hell's going on here. It's not the complete picture, and there's a very good reason for why there's not a complete picture, but it won't really become obvious until much later.
マスターの一人となった。
But Saber is ostensibly going to be correct for much of this.
宣告異国の女も言っていた。それは何だ。
ひどく大掛かりな手段。
The foreign woman is referring to Lancer. She's very clearly not Japanese, whoever she
一
is.
人まで殺し合う生存競争。君を襲ったユイや顔を隠した男もマスターとなったうつしおの者たちだろう。
Just circling him like a vulture.
Saber just can't really sit still.
マスターはうつしおの者。
Saber is a highly mobile gremlin.
I can relate to that to some extent, so I'm not going to judge her too hard on that one. I'll just judge her for all of her other personal failings.
かりそめの命でうつしおに
But yes, so the best way to explain this is that we're in a ritual wherein
私と君は
seven masters are selected. The criteria for who they are and how they get selected really is very much up in the air. This is quite a thing that happens often in Fate. Is a lot of people who have no idea what's going on can oftentimes be selected, and it's just chance, happenstance, or quotation marks fate intervening, and they are assigned a servant,
恨みを埋め
and there are different classes of servant. There's seven, and everybody gets like one, and so like there's only ever one saber in the war, or one lancer, or one rider.
扱いとは肝が据わっているな。英霊とは
And the heroic spirits are they're composed of things called spiritrons.
少なくとも
They're basically downloaded versions of like heroes of the past,
Right.
and they're force fed a lot of information that will help them out in understanding what exactly they've just gotten themselves into, so that they can explain to any like masters who don't know what's going on, what's happened. And they also have language and some measure of knowledge. If the ritual isn't really done that properly, oftentimes information isn't correct, or something could go wrong with the summoning as well, and the servant might not have all the information they need to function in society. But generally speaking, they can
ここまで言えば
they generally know enough to maybe not make too much of a scene of themselves.
That explains the general situation with why Fate has so many like weird body and gender bends around. It doesn't really matter like the physical form this like this heroic spirit gets downloaded into. They're still whoever they were. They're still Arthur. They're still Charlemagne. They're still whoever the hell. It's just a matter of they're on a different medium now. That legitimately makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and they're not an exact copy of the historical person. A lot of what makes them up is also as a result of the mythology that surrounded them that may or may not be actually attributed to who they were historically. And so this means that like certain people can be made up more myth than actual historical person. And that can affect how they look, how they behave, and this is also in a lot of ways also dictated by the class they get summoned as.
願いがあるのかな
Saber is usually a pretty good one to get. Sabers are usually very strong.
ないのか
And yeah, the end goal is the winner of the waxing moon ritual. The winners, I should say. Although not necessarily. The master can sometimes get over the line even without a servant. It's basically a case of last master standing wins, and if the servant is still standing, they get along too, and they get a wish. Isn't that nice? They get a wish.
You were just talking about encoding errors.
嘘をついている
Like apparently Saber forgot what the hell she was on about.
忘れる程度の
Again,
願い
I can give her that one. I forget what the hell I'm on about. Just in these commentary videos quite often.
あれだな
Like I said, Saber has the best facial expressions.
正直な
Serious face and a sour attitude. Look who's fucking talking, woman.
減らぬ口だいやいい立ち話はここまでだよりねぐらまで穴へしろ
You destroyed it with your Kamehameha earlier. Please let that be the case.
No. Ryder destroyed our ceiling, though. Ryder definitely entered in through a ceiling, a ceiling hole that wasn't there earlier.
Yeah.
何を難しい顔してる行くぞ
Yeah, just gonna get a strange person in my house.
これが当世の家というものかこのあれ用は常のものか
A fair question, honestly.
されたゆえだ普段はもう少し
Yeah, Saber wasn't there when the house got ruined.
本当についてきたなあーそれで話の続きだが義について他に分かることはあるか
ないぞ
Okay.
Huh? No, that's it. That's all I know.
That's all I got. I mean, fair enough, I suppose.
ない
It's a case of Saber doesn't know, but there is a lot more information to the whole thing that hasn't been fully explained yet.
もう
But
少し
someone with more of an eye that is going on will explain it to us soon enough, so don't worry about it.
I love that they're parroting back and forth the absolute most abrupt version of the negative response in Japanese that you can get. Like they're just ping ponging back and forth. Nai. like Iori is just like what the fuck did you just say to me? Nai. Like all right.
So a magical summoning fight to the death, and that you like, that's it. It's just like you could put that on a napkin.
英霊英雄英傑のよみがえり凄まじき力あれらが相争うのが英傑の義ならば江戸の民草の多くが死ぬだろうかやも死ぬ悪しきことを許されぬことだそれはわかる800野鳥を火の海にはできないそれは人の道に反する行いだ
君はそういうのか思うところはあるが嘘のない良い返答だったより力不足も甚だしいが私のマスターとして認めよう
Compared to a servant, yeah, Iori is very weak, but compared to literally everybody else, Iori is like the most dangerous person in existence right now.
It's like I don't know what you were expecting there, lady, but you know, we're doing the best we can. Everybody is.
かつての英雄
So here's the big kicker.
貴
Like
殿はどんな人物だったんだ
どんなってわからないのか？
No.
じゃあいい。
Nai.
ほどのものではないということだ。
Saber.
貴殿を呼ぶときに支障が出るだろう。
おいでもお前でも好きに呼ぶといい。
Hey or you both work fine.
そもそもイオリは弱い。弱いマスターに名を明かしても私に利はないぞ。
Whatever.
I mean, there is a very good reason for not revealing the name of a servant. And that is simply that, because they are beings bound often by their history and their mythology, knowing the name makes it a lot easier to figure out how to defeat them. If you had a ritual like this, and someone summoned Achilles, for example, Achilles is an incredibly strong warrior, nigh impossible to harm.
Unless, of course, you know his name and his myth. Right, got it.
Yeah, exactly. If you know his weakness, then that absolutely, like, he's still a very strong fighter, but it cuts a lot of his threat down. And so,
Fine. Alright, I concede the point.
yeah, no, it's a very sort of sensible, valid reason to it. And like in the original Fate's Stay Night visual novel, the very first Fate product, one important factor about King Arthur's as Saber is Saber's sword, Excalibur, was concealed by basically the wind. It was sort of like basically it was in like air. It was basically made invisible because obviously holding this, you know, this tremendous blade, most people with an understanding of mythology would go, that's definitely the sword of king, 'cause that's Excalibur.
Right.
今を知らないというのは都合がよくなかろうに。
Generally speaking, Saber should have a bit more knowledge about what things are going on, but that's related to how this ritual is going.
Yeah, I mean...
I said when we weren't recording, Magecraft is kind of a thing where, like, it's very difficult to get the same result twice, the more complicated a thing you're doing is, and these sort of things are pretty complicated.
さようなこともあろう。英月の儀、何分手探りの試みゆえな。
は。ランサーの妨害さえなければ、神明の類推も叶ったのでしょうが。
Yui Shosatsu, I said this to you when we were like watching the cutscenes, obviously it's going to get edited out, but Yui Shosatsu existed in history as well. Yui Shosatsu was a real person in history. As was Tsuchi Mikado Yasuhiro. Tsuchi Mikado Yasuhiro is part of a family line that sort of claims to be from... claims to be descended from Abe no Seimei, the famous Omnio Mage of the Heian era. And were, at this point in history, from what I was like reading up about it, was in a sort of his family, the Tsuchi Mikado family, was kind of butting heads with a different Omnio magical like family to essentially have the ear of the Tokugawa family. Since superstition was still pretty rife around these times, that you would still, you know, you still kind of had a court magician, even if, you know, like never really did that much.
I mean, the practical things that the court magician would frequently do is screw around with experimental things that nobody else had the time or patience to do. Like you could, from a modern perspective, you could kind of consider them your like resident startup guy. Like the guy who goes out and tries crap just to see what happens. And occasionally, these court magicians would just pull out amazing results, precisely because they had the latitude to try things that were against tradition. However, yeah, Robokai, you're not wrong, buddy. Like 9 times out of 10, these people would just like, you know, set some gunpowder on fire and be like, Hadouken!
問答を無用で切りつけるとはな。義に無関係な人間だったらどうするつもりだ？
ランサーとそのマスターか。このような弱に一体何の用向きだ？
習以外何があるともっとも子孫じたがね。
随分と大胆な奇襲があったものだ。とはいえ貴殿が相手なら話は早い。ライダー。
待て。やる気が有り余ってるのは結構だが、そいつと正面からやり合うつもりはない。
ではどうするつもりだ。
くだらない思い出話をしようじゃないか。唯小説。
何故私の名を知る。貴殿は何者だ。
知恵も己に加盟なし。かようなものは島原の炎で灰となる。
That makes
Yes.
sense.
Shiomon is a survivor of Shimabara, which was an uprising of peasants and Jesuit samurai railing against the oppression of the Tokugawa, and it was very violently, very brutally put down. And the 16-year-old leader of the rebellion, the figurehead of the rebellion, Amakusa Shiro, was beheaded and his head piked on the castle walls. Chiamon is a survivor of it. Chiamon was not an adult when this happened.
わしが剣にのみ生きたのは今のお前ほどの自分だった。戦国の世が続いたならばわしはそのままで生きただろう。だが世は変わった。ならば道も変わるは道理。二天一流は剣のみにあらず心の形。人が人としてよく生きるための武蔵なりの覚書になった。いおり、お前は特別だ。他の者とは頭の出来が違う。新しきを受け入れる柔らかさ、古きを尊重するつつましさ、和を良しとする穏やかさ、そしてその上で合理を選び取る勘の良さ。お前を養子としたのはその才を見抜いてのこと。鍛えれば良い試し斬りの相手になるだろうとな。決して情などではない、情などではなかったのだ。
師匠。
だがお前は優しすぎた。若い自分の武蔵であれば、あるいは
師匠。
武蔵の教えなどお前には苦痛でしかない。そのような運命に出会えば当然のように従うだろう。人助けなど全く。いおり、お前は生まれる時代を間違えたのだ。
God. I heard that chicken crow and I had every flashback to Ocarina of Time.
Really was the same sound, wasn't it?
It was exactly the same sound. Also, I can't help but feel like Musashi Musashi called Iori, like, you're a little bit autistic, and that's because I love you, and that's why I love you. Like, your brain works differently. Alright, man.
Iori Iori's just the kind of person that if you brought him forward into time and introduced him to a B-Day without telling him, he'd just be like, oh, okay, I see.
まあいい。遅いぞ、イオリ。先が思いやられる。あの程度の戦いでどれほど疲れ切った？まったくもう。
Look, people just like to sleep, okay? Like, give a man a break. You want him well rested.
驚きのあまり刀を抜きかねん。
ほう、イオリが抜くか。となると、私の加減次第では返す刀でイオリは真っ二つになるな。
そうだろうな。だったらなおさらやめてくれ。
He's like, yeah, like, I don't want to die, so let's not pour salt water in my eyes.
それより、君にはさっさと起きてやるべきことがある。
というと？
私たちは寝食を共にするのだ。ゆうべ、君の言ったことだろう。寝て起きた。ならば、次は食べる方。うん。朝げの時間だろう。さあ、支度を、より。
Servants don't need to eat.
Yeah, it's like I got the distinct feeling that this was her just wanting him to wake up so she could screw with him more. This is like I also imagine that servants don't need to sleep. This is literally just her being bored.
一体何しに？
兄ちゃんちも大変じゃない。一体何があったの？
ああ、そうだな。ゆうべは人ならざる者の襲撃を受けたとどうしてカヤに言えようものか。
何？単純な話だ。荒ぶる雷神の放った雷がこの辺りに落ちた。おかげでゆうべは大騒ぎだ。なあ、イオリ。
God, you really want to hate her. She's helping out right now.
もしかしなくてもこれって兄ちゃんが女の人を長屋に？
私はセイバーという。察するに君はイオリの妹子か
？Calm down, Kaya.
私はカヤって言います。イオリ兄ちゃん、兄上の妹です。セイバーさん、兄上と
Yeah. Yeah.
カヤ、
slamming on the gas there.
はしゃぐものではないよ。
Saber is going to, like, never acknowledge that this keeps happening and just make it worse every single time.
I mean, I'm certain she's doing that intentionally. There's an anime trope about being ignorant about it, but I appreciate that it's getting subverted by just like, oh no, I'm completely aware of it, and I think it's hysterical to make it worse.
Saber's just a chaos gremlin.
勘違いで姉を生やすな。ほら、帰った帰った。
何を焦る、より。大事はない。妹子は私が守る。
そういう問題では。
そもそも君が巻き込まれる必要すらないぞ。イオリがどこかに隠れていれば私が全て済ませよう。イオリとてライダーとランサーを見てまともに切り合おうとは思うまい。むしろ思われてしまうと困る。
何の話？
Yeah, she forgot that Kaya was still in the room.
I think Saber just doesn't care. But that's alright, because the subject is about to change very dramatically right now.
何者だ？
本のじいちゃん。
Old book, Grandpa.
Remember how Red was asleep?
Yeah.
随分とのんきだな。
Apparently, Red is old book, Grandpa. Oh my god, it has a working mouth. That is the best thing ever.
This is the Crimson Codex.
本だよ。
It's a book.
本
Just trolling her right back. Good man,
南
Iori.
蛮の書だ。日の本の書はもっと薄いし、よく曲がる。
Good man, Iori.
なるほど。東大では木に書くのはやめたのか。
So this is kind of giving you a bit of context
Right.
of how far back in time Saber's origin
She didn't know
goes.
what paper is, so like,
Yeah.
like
時代の人物なのだ。
she just doubled down on the fact that she's way out of time.
まあわしのような書に夢中になるのは仕方ないかもしれんがの。
しかし本か。時が変われば書も口を聞き空を飛ぶようになるとは。なんとも驚きだ。
いやいや、本は飛ばないし喋らないよ普通。このじいちゃんがおかしいだけだって。
A bit strange, Kaya says.
ならば何がしかの怪異か。
おかしいだの怪異だの悪意のないトゲが突き刺さるわ。
じいさん、紅玉の書は父の遺産だ。いずこの文字で書かれたかすらもわからず、読むのを諦めていたが、ある日突然、俺に事の葉を放ってきてな。正直、驚きはしなかった。事の葉でやりとりができるのは、なんというか、書を読むよりもたやすいしな。
Remember in the cutscene where Musashi was like, "Wow, you know, like you just nothing phases you, kid. You just things happen, and you're just like, yeah, sure, okay, I accept that happening."
Yeah, that's a thing that's happening. I suppose it could happen, and Iori's just like, all right.
It's like, well, I can't read English, so like, if you can tell me in Japanese how to do all this stuff.
ああ、あれか。
But yes, he's the Crimson Codex is the magic instructor, so that's why we know Katon, the fire
この
spell.
書は君の術の詩か。詩が傍らにあるなら、うん。今からでもまじないを本文としたらどうだ？剣よりよほど身を助けるだろう。
俺の本文は剣士だよ。どれほど弱かろうともな。
剣士。
ってのんびり話してるけど、兄ちゃん家なんとかしなきゃ。埃も泥棒も入り放題になっちゃうよ。
Yeah, you could just climb in through the window. Or,
Yeah. Let me just get on top and redo my shingles, because the robot tore up my shingles.
これを機にこの長屋に魔術工房
that's right, we got a solution. We can turn this place into a workshop.
I mean, we've kind of established that Iori is sort of Carl with all right, fine, we'll do that. So, you know, like at this point, I'm just gonna start looking for ways to reference Carl Brutanalana Lusky and hope that he gets summoned into be like a writer or something at some point.
しかり魔術師の魔術工房とは
In essence, a workshop is a very subtle name for what is essentially a safe place for a mage to exist, conduct research, and generally protect themselves from outside interference. Because mages in the Fate universe are all dickheads. Laterally, they're all assholes. They are just constantly fucking with one another, constantly just being like absolute psychos in their own space, committing abhorrent sorts of research, just doing all sorts of they're terrible people.
No sense
Like,
of right and
if
wrong.
wizards are dicks, then mages are like super dickheads.
素材を買いに出るぞ
Yesterday's haul. Are we talking about that 4,600 koku you got? Because that actually was a pretty decent bit of money.
Yep, we needed to go buy some things to make the house.
朝ごはん
into a workshop. If you know, it's nice to sort of, you know, hopefully prevent problems showing up on our doorstep. Spoilers, it won't. But an attempt is made. Yeah, so now we get to walk around the area a little bit more. We're gonna, you know.
Wow, Saber only barely missed your place.
一体何があったのかしら。
Yeah, we, you know, a lot of places burned down, a lot of places got super blasted. Thankfully, a lot of the places were already fairly run down and uninhabited at the time. There's these little booklets that you can find around around each area that have like little lore dumps about the place, and there's kind of the first one is kind of funny because like it talks about that little space down there being haunted because people can hear the sounds of like someone training. The voice of a woman who should not be there, and then like you know, Kaya just visiting to yell at Iori. So it's
one
like
of these
everyone
things
thinks
is like the other.
Well, it's like everyone thinks the place is like like everyone thinks it's just like haunted, but it's just like those three idiots. Visiting the shrine is just tied into some stuff that we won't really unlock in this episode, so I won't bother explaining it.
All right, cool. For right now, I'm just assuming that that you have to pay your respects every so often, which, you know, that's good practice regardless. Informed man.
Did you hear about the disturbance last night? Nothing happened. But yeah, someone's already spread a story that somebody's started fires in the area.
Sure.
So you know, someone is covering up for this waxing moon ritual, it would seem.
Probably a mage, because that sounds like a really dickhead thing to do.
Well, I don't know, it would prevent a lot of panic. But it is also tied into something else that involves mages, and that is essentially that there's a general sort of belief that the more people that know about magic and how magic works and actually understand how it works, the less potent it is. It's something they refer to as mystery, or mystics. And so, generally speaking, they try to have as few people know about it as possible. So let's buy ourselves some odd stuff. let's spend our money to buy some rope, paper, and a butterfly wing.
What we need is a roof, and I'm not seeing any shingles or clay in there. But you know, whatever. I'm sure that the Crimson Codex has this well in hand.
Crimson Codex, I'm sure, knows how to do exactly what they do. So around the place, there's some red spots you might have seen there. The game is going to explain it.
Noticed that. Those looked menacing.
That's basically the game telling you where the random encounters are, and it's good to fight them because you get experience. There's a few things that you need to do involving combat that can give you money and other stuff. So it's definitely in your best interest. I was just checking to see there if the game had let me start to level up yet. It has not. It will unlock that for me soon enough, but it is also telling us about the pause menu, so I'm letting everyone see it. This listing here will get much longer before the end of the game. But you, generally speaking, do want to get into lots of fights in this game because you'll get, like I said, you know, as you can see here, we've got this thing called the alert. That signpost that was back before, we can't access it yet. But in essence, every region has a signpost, and the signpost basically has a set number of tasks. And like some of them are like defeating certain kinds of enemies or defeating a specific enemy that will sometimes appear. And other ones that's like, you know, basically going around and visiting all the shrines in the area, or things like that. And once you complete all of those, every time you complete one of them, you get a reward instantly. But if you complete all of the tasks that are in an area, and then you go and visit the sign, you'll get a further reward. And those are really good to get because they relate to getting new skills and other things. So we've got one for beating up thugs, but also the defeating yeah. So here's the explanation now. So you can even just go around and pet cats and dogs, and that's like a thing.
The fact, like, I was not entirely sold on this whole challenge thing until you told me that there's a pet cats and dogs challenge, and then I instantly got sold. Like, I just 180'd.
So I'm thinking we might go fight those guys as well, you know, just to get some experience, and also just like we've spent so much time just like listening to everyone talk. It's like, hey, let's get a little bit of violence in as well.
Honestly, I like my biggest amusement here is that it's this shit splatter like run downtown, and apparently there's like a public bounty out to just kick 50 asses. Like this is how many extra people are around. You just need to kick 50 asses.
Petting animals does give a benefit as well. It's not a huge, you know, it's not like admiring the golden fleece. You get health from doing it, and when you have Saber there, the petting goes for longer and you get more health.
The petting goes for longer just because Saber is really into petting cats and dogs. Is that it?
Well, it's just like you have a turn and then Saber has a turn.
All right, I like that.
So it goes for longer, and sometimes Saber just like goes absolutely goofy about the animals too. So hopefully we'll get to see that animation. It's pretty
I'm looking forward to that because you know, obviously she's going to continue to be a completely unreasonable jerk about who she is, and like precisely how she goes nuts for domesticated animals might provide more clues simply because she's already from a land before paper. Mine, Mr. Swordsman. Go away.
And there we go. Another bunch of dead dudes. Afterglow doesn't last too long, so you know. We won't explore too much of this region though, because like there's sort of a mechanic that involves taking Saber around a map. And if there's like a particularly interesting location, Saber will be like, oh, holy crap, and then you'll have like a little bit of dialogue with Saber and get a skill point that can be used to like level up some of Saber's abilities. So it's like, you know, there's there's things to see and do in the area basically.
I can't help but think that that these rituals of the waxing moon or whatever, you as a servant, you would be implicitly what's the word I'm looking for? Incentivized to just drag it out as much as possible, because yeah, you get a wish at the end, but also like you're alive and you get to experience new things. So what hurry are you in to go kick a whole bunch of butts?
And that is 100% a thing that comes up a lot in Fate.
All right,
like essentially these people are getting a second chance at life. And some of them are, you know, it's basically a question of how many of them are bound to their mistakes of their past, and how many of them are able to move on and things like that. It's really quite interesting. And obviously what makes up a servant and all the extra things. I feel like if the thread for this picks up, we'll get a lot of people talking about long weird shit. I will be expressing a please don't spoil the identities of characters, even though like Lancer, everybody who's like remotely familiar with Fate knows exactly who the fuck Lancer is. But Ryder and Saber were very much big mysteries when they were released, and so because they were not existing characters from previous works, whereas Lancer definitely is. I brought butterfly wings and paper and rope. And now I guess we're going to, fix a house with the butterfly wings, I guess.
As long as there's a roof when you're done, man. Like, seriously.
We ain't just getting a roof, my friend. We're getting an extra section of house.
Well, there's proper walls. The sun isn't coming in. This is definitely an improvement.
We have mood candles and a bookshelf. But yeah, we now own more real estate than we're supposed to.
It was free real
down
estate,
the wall.
Okay? Yeah, there you go. Codex saying it.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if Iori's renting or not. Probably not.
After the ritual is over, yeah, like...
If somebody else buys it...
Definitely looks like he doesn't own the place.
But yeah, now we have the skill tree. And so one of the very first things that we can unlock is the it's basically a grid, and you unlock more of it as you perform certain actions.
Right, sphere grid. Got it. I played Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, and like different grids will unlock for different stances and stuff. But we definitely want the one that's a star, because the star is going to give us probably the most useful combat ability that'll last us the entire game. And it is essentially, you dodge it exactly the right second, you get a chance to counterattack. And the counterattack hits like a truck. It's great. And the other thing we could do is from like our adventures, we picked up a skill gen, which we can then assign to any character we want to. And that gives them more points to spend on the grid.
Got it. Okay.
And so we're able to get the technique upgrade as well, which will boost our chance at critical hits.
もう朝ごはんの支度できたよ。私は支度しながらつまんだから、あとは2人でゆっくり食べてね。
Yeah, whatever, Kaya.
それじゃあまた。セイバーさん、兄上をよろしくお願いします。
おみおつけか。実に米に合う汁。
It does though. Oh man,
ごちそうさま。
decent bowl of miso soup just sort of like goes straight to the soul with how good it
飯
is.
の話をしている。英月の儀はどうなった？
What about it?
腹が減っては戦ができぬと東大では言うのだろう。食をおろそかにしてはいつまでも弱いままだぞ、いおり。
それは分かっている。カヤにもよく怒られているしな。
Just
Yeah, we did the
constantly.
stomach rally earlier. Yeah. Maybe if you ate food, dumbass.
動き。それは英月の儀をどう戦うかということか？
ああ、そうだ。
ふむ。ならば私から言っておくことがある。義がどうあれ、戦場に呼ばれたからには私は勝利する。あらゆる手を尽くして。
Okay.
優先すべきは敵マスターとサーバントの撃破。それ以外のことを私は考慮しない。
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, sabers are generally very strong.
それは江戸の民のことはいないものとして考えると？
分かってもらえて何よりだ。
本当に？
その驚きは何についてだ？
ではそうはならぬよう立ち回らなければな。俺は
言わずとも構わない。ゆうべ君の意思はもう聞いた。
そうか。では今後の動きは決まったわけだ。さて、では俺は出かけるとしよ
う。出かける？この工房、君が引きこもって身を守るために作ったのではなかったのか。
銭を稼がねば飯は食えん。道理だろう。
稼ぐ銭。ああ、確か、物を買うあれだな。
貨幣に縁遠いのか。ならばもしや。
Heian era, right? Yeah, okay. No, I think she's further
we
back
gotta
from
go-
that, there, buddy.
Yeah, we gotta go further back.
Like the most likely mythological characters I've got at this point are either Gilgamesh or Enkidu.
今日は吉原へ。
But you know, like I would need to see more of Saber's interactions, actually, especially with animals, because Gilgamesh and Enkidu both had very differing interactions with animals back in the epic. So.
Well, Saber doesn't go that far back.
Okay.
So, Saber is a Japanese hero.
All right.
But do remember you suggested those two characters. Do remember that you mentioned them.
Look,
future.
like you gave me the basics of what's going on here. I'm just using logic to connect some dots.
Yep, no worries. No, I'm not saying it in a mocking way. I'm just saying keep in mind those characters.
そうだ。私は江戸には不慣れでな。しっかりと案内を頼む。
I love the animations.
Just so proud of herself for coming up with this.
一周返しだな。まあ、穴いくらいはしてやろう。勤めの邪魔はするなよ。銭を稼がねば、お身をつけも米も食えん。
米とお身をつけ、それは一大事だな。
Well, at least we agree on that.
任せろ、邪魔はしない。では、支度が済んだら声をかけてくれ。私はいつでもいいぞ。
So yeah, we'll be ending the episode here. You know, there's a little bit more to do around the house. Well, actually, there's not really that much to do around the house. The bookshelf you can use to read about stuff, and the workshop will become a lot more important once we unlock a lot more upgrades for it. The workshop, much like Iori himself and Iori's menus, will get bigger and longer and more important as the waxing moon ritual goes on. We're gonna develop a really big workshop. We can also go back to bed again. I don't think I've literally ever had the game say, "Hey, go to bed." I don't know what that icon's there for, but yeah, next time we head out and take a look around and see if we can't figure out a little bit of what's going on. And most importantly of all, Iori has some work in an area which is going to introduce us to a very important servant. And
oh god.
And oh boy, I am really looking forward to your brains just splattering out your ears on that one. So
damn it.
Next time on Fate Samurai Remnant, we do some work, we do some debt collecting, and then cool guy dies. And then we get an explanation about what's going on a little bit more. So, I've been the Last Robokai.
And I can't wait to fucking die.
And we'll see y'all next time.